starting 11s. For the visitors, L1BC. Goalkeeper, Marshall Harold. Number 22, Nathan Walters. Number 6, Matthew Marshall. Number 8 and captain, Giordano Pinto. Number 17, Oliver Howard. Number 19, Ambrose.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Thunderbird Stadium at the Point Grey campus at the University of beautiful British Columbia. It's League 1 BC Men's Division action as the hosting Whitecaps take on the visiting Altitude from North Vancouver, and it's a battle between second and third in the League 1 BC standings. We should be in for an absolute cracker this afternoon. Heading into this game, both teams tied on 10 points. A win for either this afternoon will catapult them to the top of the table. And for the Whitecaps, they're about to reach the halfway point of their season. Altitude start the second half of their season this afternoon. We'll get into the starting lineups for both teams. For visiting Altitude, in goal, wearing the number 30 and making his first appearance of the season is a former Whitecaps Academy goalkeeper, Marshall Harold. The rest will give you in numerical order. Number 3, Wiz Shavula. Number 4, Ali Azarmanu. Number 6, Matthew Marshall. Number 7, Carson Bushman Dormand. Number 8, Giordano Pinto. Number 9, Atos Di Sequeira. Number 17, Oliver Herbert. Number 19, Ambrose Tinmouth. Number 22, Nathan Walters. And number 95, Hauk Tippy. For the Whitecaps, led by head coach Ewan Fisher. In goal, number 90, making his 6th appearance of the season. He's played every minute for the team so far, is goalkeeper Ben Alexander. Whitecaps lining up in a 3-4-3 formation. Along the back line is number 87, Sahai Williams. Number 72, Nikos Clark-Tozak. Number 71, Jaden Manetta. Midfield 4 of 84, Amoni Thomas. 68, Cristiano da Silva. 65, Mario Lefebvre. Number 88, Angelo Zhu. And a front 3 of number 23, Amir Gassemi. Number 95, Marcus Rukavina. And number 79, Matteo Samori. It's a Whitecap side, as I mentioned, sitting second in the standings. 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat from their 5 games. 11 goals for, 9 goals against. Taking on an Altitude side who have played 6, 3 wins, 1 draw and 2 defeats. 7 goals for, 10 goals against. Altitude's game last Sunday was washed out at Kinsman Field. Much different conditions this afternoon. The officials for this one, the referee, the man in the middle is Amir Ramic. First assistant referee, Jonathan Hutchison. Second assistant referee is Oliver Kostanen. And the fourth official is Michael Caccio. And it's going to be the Whitecaps that get the action underway in this one. They're shooting from right to left in the first half in their white jerseys, with the blue shorts and the blue band. Altitude in their all black jerseys with the white numbers and trim, going from left to right, and the Whitecaps have this one off and running. The Whitecaps leading scorer David Ajagbe on the bench to start this one. He's got 3 goals on the season. Riley Ferraro and Matteo Samori have 2 goals apiece. 7 different players have found the back of the net for the Whitecaps, compared with just 4 for Altitude. Carson Bushman Dorman leads them with 3 goals, and Atos Di Sequeira has 2, and the pair of them have linked up very nicely in the Altitude front line over the course of the season. So we should be in for a good one this afternoon. You might be able to hear that the wind has picked up once again here, if you're hearing it on the stream as I'm hearing it in the headphones. So we'll see if that factors into anything, as it's the Whitecaps on an early attack with the right hand side, and referee blowing up early for that one. And it's going to give Altitude a free kick deep in their own half. Whitecaps head into this one having scored in all 5 of their matches so far. 1 clean sheet, which was in their last outing at home to Rivers. For Altitude, they've been kept off the score sheet 3 times. They've kept 2 clean sheets. So we'll see how this one plays out. Very warm down at pitch level. Went down after the women's game to chat to Katie Collar and see how these players are affected as Bushman Dorman sends one in the middle, looking to try and get that into Oliver Herbert, another former Whitecaps, an alumni from the Whitecaps Academy. A couple out there for altitude this afternoon. Bushman Dorman plays it out to Shavula, gets past his man, cuts it back to Atos Di Sakera, who's had to stretch, but the shot comes in, a fierce one there. Well blocked though by the Whitecaps. Walters picks up the loose ball, keeps it live, sprays it out to Tinmouth. He's forced inside under pressure from Gissemi, and he'll just have to play this one back. Shavula now, touch inside to Tinmouth. If you're with us for the women's game, I expect this to be a much, much closer affair. Big play of points on the line for both of these teams, as that's a little bit too much for De Sakera to try and chase down. It's very tight at the top in the League 1BC standings. Only 3 points separate the top 4 sides. League leaders TSS Rovers not in action this weekend. Unity sitting in 4th in the standings on 8 points. They kick off at 3:30 this afternoon against Harbourside. We'll bring you some scores from that as Bushman Dorman takes on the loose ball and fires that one into the side net, and looking to add to his tally of 3 goals on the season so far. Carson Bushman Dorman has really added some spark to this altitude front line. It's something that was missing from the team last year. Atos Di Sakera did a good job trying to lead the line with them. Managed to get on the score sheet 4 times for altitude last year, but he isn't an out-and-out striker, as he is the first to admit, and he needed a little bit of help up front, which wasn't really there last year. But he's now got a very good strike partner in Carson Bushman Dorman, the 21-year-old who's had a lot of experience for his young years. He has played over in Switzerland with FC Zurich, playing with their under-21s and making 44 appearances for them. Has also played in Estonia as well and had a little bit of time in the Whitecaps system. Had trials when he was younger over in Germany as well with Borussia Mönchengladbach and Hertha Berlin. So very good footballing education for Bushman Dorman, and he's a player the Whitecaps will have to watch out for this afternoon. It's the visitors making a lot of the early running here. As Tippy sends a nice long ball forward for De Sakera to chase down, but that's going to be dealt with quite comfortably from Jaden Mineta, one of the returning alumni players on this white side, alongside Niklas Clark Tozak in the back line for the Whitecaps, wearing the 71 and 72 jerseys. Mineta's just had his 3rd season with Seattle Redhawks down in NCAA. Started all games for Seattle last year. And a chance now here for Altitude to get their first set piece opportunity of the match, as Bushman Dorman sent crashing to the deck there. And they'll send their big bodies up in Nathan Walters and Hawk Tippy. They've got 2 very good central defenders at these set piece opportunities. If you haven't seen much of Altitude this year, you'll find Bushman Dorman and Herbert over most of their set piece opportunities, and that's the 2 players over it just now. And it's Herbert that sends it into the box. And Tippy, I think, was in 2 minds whether to attack that or not. In the end, he left it, and it just had a little bit too much on it, and carries behind for a Whitecaps goal kick. If you want to get in touch with me during the broadcast, I'm Michael McCall. You can get in touch with me on Twitter at AFTN Canada, or if Twitter X is not your thing, shoot us an email, aftncanada@hotmail.com. De Sakera sends a high one into the box looking for Bushman Dormand. It's cleared though by the Caps, and a big boot will send that up the field, but it's only going to fall to Tippy, who'll head it back to Herald, who'll get his first touch of the afternoon. The 20-year-old goalkeeper from North Van was in the Whitecaps Academy from 2016 to 2023. Featured on the bench for WFC 2 in the past as well. Played the first 2 years of League One, 2022 with the Whitecaps, 2023 with Rivers. So his third side now over the course of the year. And his rookie season down at Seattle University didn't feature this year, but I know the Whitecaps were very high on Herald, as many of the goalkeepers that's come through a conveyor belt of talent in the Whitecaps Academy in the goalkeeping side, male and female. The Whitecaps will get a throw in. Referee just telling them to go back a little bit. And it's you standing over this, looking for some movement. Not really getting it. Forced to just play a short one back to Gassemi. He finds the space to get that one forward there to Rukavina, and Rukavina is fouled in the process. The 18-year-old forward had a good Fraser Valley Soccer League Premier Division season. That's where the Whitecaps under-19s play their winter football. Rukavina, 8 goals for the Whitecaps in the Fraser Valley, 6 in the League 2 in the Cup. We'll be looking to try and bring some of that form into the League 1 campaign. Just got 1 goal to his name so far. One of 7 players to find the back of the net for the Whitecaps through their first 5 matches. Here's Bushman Dormando for Altitude. It's well cut out by Williams. And the Whitecaps just quick to get on with this. Lefevre plays it out to Zoo. He's got Gassemi up ahead of him, but Gassemi now gets the ball, and he's got space ahead of him here to get into the Altitude half. Decides to cut inside, and that's very well read and tackled by Azar Manu. De Silva now. He'll bring this one forward. He's got Thomas out on the wing. Williams gets it out to Thomas now. Monty Thomas, very impressive in the last outing the Whitecaps had against Rivers 2 weeks ago. Whitecaps coming into this one on the back of a 2-game break. I'm not sure if that was to concentrate the players on some schooling or not, but didn't seem to do the women any harm, who put 10 goals past Altitude in the earlier of the 2 matches this afternoon. Scoreless here though through the first 10 minutes at Thunderbird Stadium. Oh, and that's given up and picked up here by Herbert. He's in on goal and he fires a one, and I thought that was heading in. Just didn't quite get the direction on it. Herbert not hitting the target there. Looked like the goal was gaping as he was in one-on-one there with Alexander, and I really thought from my angle that I was going to have the net bulging, but it was not to be for Altitude, who's certainly enjoyed the better of the play through the early going here. Whitecaps win that through De Silva. Good tackle in the middle. Samori now getting pushed wide with 2 players around him. Can't get that one out to Thomas. The loose ball does break now to Thomas. And just a little bit of misunderstanding there by the Whitecaps, and that will run out for an Altitude throw-in midway in their half. As I mentioned, very hot down at pitch level, and it's certainly just going to get hotter as the afternoon goes on. It'll be draining these players pretty quickly. There is a bit of a wind, which we're experiencing up here in the commentary booth, but when I was down speaking to Katie Collar after the women's game, Could not notice the breeze down there at all, even though you saw the flags fluttering quite wildly in the wind. It's always strange here at Thunderbird, the way that the wind comes in and swirls around. Shavula working his way up the left wing under the attention of two Whitecaps, wins the side, a throw-in as well. Good play there from Wiz Shavula in his third year now in League One with this altitude side. Played every game for altitude in their inaugural season in 2022, every game last year as well. 26 appearances overall for Wiz Shavula. 1 goal and 1 assist to his name over those first 2 seasons. It's a long throw, comes in from Tippy. That's going to be a big force in their arsenal this afternoon. If you've not seen altitude play before, Tippy's been on these long throws and he's fantastic at launching these into the box, the 25-year-old German. Another bomb coming in from the German. Breaks to Disakera on the edge of the box. He sees a shot cleared up the field, and Marshall will just usher this one all the way back to Herald. A good start here by the visitors, and a crunching tackle goes in there from Thomas. Ricochets off Tippy and it's out for the throw in here to the Caps. They get on quickly with it. Getting forced back here though by the press from altitude. Now they get a chance to send this one forward. Whitecaps will try their luck now, switching it out to the left. Mineta though forced inside, has no space opening up in any of the channels. Falibas's side have given up 10 goals, as I mentioned, coming into this, but they've played some very good stuff and they've looked quite solid in the opening quarter of an hour here. Not been tested yet by the Whitecaps. Tippy and Walters have formed a very formidable centre-back pairing for altitude. And now Bushman Dorman's going to get a chance to bring this out. He's got space ahead of him here up the right. He's looking for some help and he hasn't got a lot of options up there. Forced to play this one back to Azar Manu. Altitude try the luck now on the left, but Shavula forced back under the pressure of Thomas there. That's a nice ball forward here for Shavula to chase down. He's got Disakera in the middle, cuts it back into Disakera, and the Brazilian tries a little back flick there, hoping that someone was going to be running in, but Tinmouth just getting in to the box a little bit too late to get on the end of that. But Altitude's going to get a chance to keep the pressure on here. Tippy, another long one into the box. Breaks to Azar Manu, who keeps it back, cuts it back to Bushman Dorman, who gets the shot, and a big save there from Alexander. And the rebound falls favourably to the Caps, and they'll get a chance to bring it out. Zoo. Gassemi now, he'll take this up the left wing. Cuts inside, looking for some movement, and nothing for him to play that one too. Now Williams will bring this out. Thomas now, he's got options up ahead of him. Given away though by the Caps. Gasemi cuts inside from Pinto. Plays this to Rukavina, gets the ball back here to Gasemi. He tries to thread that through for Samori, but well read by Marshall. Whitecaps keep it alive though. And just a loose one there from the Caps, allow Altitude to mop that up, and they'll play this out from the back. Pinto, long ball forward, chested down by Bushman Dormant. Nice little flick outside there to Shavula. Shavula gets past his man. He's got a chance here to get something going. He could do with a little bit of help. Centres it, looking for Herbert, who hadn't made the run, and the Whitecaps will just get the foot on this and clear up the pitch. It's going to come straight back into them though, as Pinto. That was well played by Azamanu to get onto that. Bit of a short one there. Azamanu gets the return ball. Altitude need to get some more players in the box here. Disakera and Bushman Dorman. Dorman now chips that in, looking to try and find a strike partner, but just carries over his head, and the Whitecaps will try and get it out. It's blocked though. Herbert lines up looking for the space inside. Little give and go there with Bushman Dormand. Comes back now to Bushman Dormand, who gets the shot, and that's well blocked by the Caps. Altitude pushing hard here. It's incredible to think Altitude will go top if they can win this one. It's only a couple of weeks ago they were on the wrong end of a 6-0 defeat by TSS. Shows you on any given day any team in this league can beat anyone else. Azamanu now, little touch inside, gets the back from Shavula. The flag up though on the return pass from the near side linesman. It's been a very entertaining first 19 minutes. Hope you are enjoying the action wherever you are taking this one in, across the lower mainland, in BC, Canada or beyond. Let us know. No YouTube chat in the streams anymore, so if you want to get in touch you can do so on Twitter at AFT in Canada. If you want to chat about this game, the League 1 BC season so far, or anything else League 1 Canada connected. And remember, you can find everything on the League 1 Canada app, available in the Android and Google stores. You'll get scores, updates, notifications live from games for League 1 BC, League 1 Ontario and League 1 Alberta. If you weren't with us for the earlier game as well, there will be water breaks in both halves around about the 25-minute mark. As Gasemi brings this forward up the wing now to Zhu. He's looking for someone to get into the box. Had to hold that up as it was a little bit slow run in there from Samori and Rukavina. But the Whitecaps still keep hold of the ball. Mineta now. Thomas is an acres of room out on the right wing if they can get the ball out to him. But instead the Whitecaps forced back here, and Alexander thinks about launching it long, decides to play it out to Mineta instead, and that's well blocked there by Disakera. He's got a chance to deliver a ball into the box, and Clark Tozak not taking any chances there and just sending that out into touch for an Altitude throw in deep in the Whitecaps half. Walters and Pinto having a little discussion for Altitude, maybe trying to reorganise things a little bit, or not happy with things that's been seen. And another high one comes in from Tippy onto the head of Walters. He can't direct that in on goal. The Whitecaps are breaking now with 4 players going forward. It's a great chance here for the Caps, and the shot comes in and it's deflected. Takes a little bit of the pace off that. Samori with a shot there, and that's easily held by Marshall Herald. Still scoreless here as the halfway point of the first half approaches. Entertaining game so far. Delicately poised, I'm sure. TSS fans and players and management watching this, hoping for a draw between these two teams, which would keep the Rovers top of the table with a game in hand. There's a long ball over the top here, and Disakera and Bushman Dormand, I think, had both kept themselves onside there. It would have been interesting to see if the flag had gone up, if one of them had got onto that ball. It's a very tight decision. Disakera possibly just a little straight offside between the two of them. And a good crowd out again for the second match of the afternoon here at Thunderbird. It's a beautiful weekend for watching football in the Lower Mainland. If you were with us yesterday, a couple of good games out of Burnaby Lake. Whitecaps just happy just now to move this along their back line, looking to try and see if they can get any space, but the high press from altitude forcing them back yet again. Herbert putting Alexander under a little bit of pressure, and the Caps keeper sends that high up the field. The loose ball falls here to Gassemi. Takes a touch, he's got Marshall in front of him. Shavula now closing it down. It's cut back here to Thomas. Thomas, a great delivery into the box, and that's well held there by Marshall Herald, rising above everyone to grab that one, the 6-foot keeper. As we enter the 25th minute, we probably will be getting the water break very, very soon. Referee checking with the officials. He'll probably let this last opportunity go as Tippy plays that forward. It's cut out by Mineta. Out should pick up the loose ball. Comes through here for Athos Disakera. Nice turn by the Brazilian. Can he keep it in? He can't, but he puts it out for a throw in right at the corner flag. Whitecaps still, I was going to say just a few yards, still quite a few yards there with the throw-in. As Altitude now take their time, building from the back, looking for any space to open up. Disakera gets himself back on side. Likes to play right on the line, does Atos Disakera. Now finally brings it forward for the Caps, outside to Gassemi. It's a nice outside of the foot pass there, looking to try and play in Rukavina, but well read by Marshall. A nice little back heel there from Disakera to Herbert. It's a good crossfield diagonal ball there to play in. Bushman Dormand, he's tussling away in the box there, couldn't get on the end of that to get the shot off, and good defence there from the Whitecaps in the end, and they'll bring it out. Now the Caps get a chance to bring this forward. Zhu out on the left. thought about playing that to Gissemi, took it in himself, and they'll just get forced back again for now, the Whitecaps. Lefebvre. He's forced to play back. Every time Whitecaps player gets the ball, he's closed down very quickly by an altitude player, but now they've got a little bit of space to break free, and that's going to bring up a free kick here for the Whitecaps, about 38 yards from goal, and the referee calling on the training staff of altitude as Ali Azamanu goes down after that challenge. Haven't had the water break that I was expecting yet. Came at the 25th minute mark for the women. But I thought this would have been an ideal opportunity for them to take one. But while Azamanu gets a little bit of treatment here, L1BC would like to thank the following league partners: CIBC, the lead partner for Canada Soccer, the Canadian Premier League and League One; Gatorade, Rehydrate, Replenish, Refuel; the Cruyff Institute, educating athletes, sport and business professionals to become leaders in sport management; Derby Star, the official ball of the Canadian Premier League and the preferred match ball for League One BC; Macron, work hard, play harder; Vibrant Performance, Canada's most trusted brand for automotive race parts and accessories; the Canadian Premier League, where Canadian soccer takes flight; One Soccer, the home of soccer in Canada; and BC Soccer, encouraging us all to play, inspire and unite. So it was a little bit of a unofficial water break there. Some players still taking some water on as the two players injured in that challenge off on the side, but the Whitecaps get a free kick now, 40 yards out from goal. First real set piece opportunity of the afternoon for the Caps. Let's see what they can do with it. Angela Zhu standing over it, sends that one into the box, headed clear by Walters. Only came as far as Mario Lefebvre, and the 17-year-old from Edmonton swipes at that and misses to the right of Marshall Herald's goal. Play slowed to pedestrian pace right now, but this has been a game where we've seen things slow down and it just bursts into life with a quick ball forward or a little shimmy to get away from the marker. Azamanu, one of the new additions to altitude for this season, wearing the number 4 jersey, 26-year-old Iranian player. Played pro for 4 different clubs over in Iran and was the defender of the year in the under-21 league there at one point. He plays his winter football in the Fraser Valley League, much like most of these Whitecaps players do. He plays though with Aries AFA, fantastic club out in the valley. As Thomas now brings this one forward for the Whitecaps. A little cut to the outside, can't get the cross in. That's well blocked there by Marshall, who's still battling away with Thomas. Whitecaps winger comes away with the ball for now at least. But Out should win it back and they're going to get a chance to bring it forward. That was a bit of a loose one there, but Herbert makes the most of that and comes away with the ball. Little back heel there from Bushman Dormand into the path of Shavula. Plays that back to Dormand, who I thought was going to get himself into the box, but stayed back waiting for the return pass there from Shavula. And it all comes to nothing for Altitude, and they'll just play this back and bring this out once again from their own half. Tippy now. It's a long ball forward looking to try and play in Sakera. Mineta reads that though, and now the Whitecaps get a chance to break up the left. Gavsemi, he's away here from Tippy. He's just got Walters in front of him. He's got a couple of options inside. It's just slightly overhit and behind Samori there. And Shavula gets a little bit of a kick there from Samori for his trouble, and I wonder if this might bring out the first yellow of the afternoon. Just a talking to, though, for Mateo Samori from referee Amir Ramic. Maybe a last warning as well for the Whitecaps forward. .33 minutes gone. Still goalless here at Thunderbird Stadium. Despite the stalemate, it has been a very enjoyable first half. Both teams feel like they've got the players that can really test the defences here, but the defences on both sides standing strong right now. Neither keeper really had too much to do. Alexander really had the one big save that we've seen in the first half so far. Marshall Herald hasn't really been tested by the Whitecaps yet. You always wonder if there's going to be a little bit of rust for teams after a 2-week break, and maybe that is what we're seeing from the Whitecaps, but Whitecaps certainly have some dangerous players on the bench if head coach Ewan Fisher wants to shake things up at the half, as do Altitude. So some big hitters for both sides likely to feature in the second half here. And included on the bench for the Whitecaps is, as I mentioned, their leading scorer David Ajagbe, who has 3 goals to his name for the season so far. Teignmouth doesn't have any room to send this one forward. I think that's been the story really of the first half so far. There's been no room given up in the channels, but a slip there. Lets Shavula come through, cuts inside to Bushman Dorman. He takes a touch, gets the shot off. Doesn't really have the power on that to test Ben Alexander. And the Caps keeper makes another save. South Carolina Gamecocks keeper for the past 2 seasons, Ben Alexander. 33 games played for them, 5 clean sheets. Making the switch though to Boston College for the upcoming NCAA season. Now has played every minute so far for the Whitecaps in League One in the 2024 season. Busy day for the Whitecaps teams. The women in action earlier in League One. The men, as you're watching play out just now, and at 6 o'clock out of Swan Guard. If you can get along to that one, it's Whitecaps 2 taking on LAFC 2. Might we see a start in goal for former Whitecap keeper Thomas Hassau? Hope to maybe head out for at least the second half of that one once I get home from these games. As Ghassemi sends that one into the box, just comes off the head there of Samori. Azamanu can't clear it fully right now. Nice little back heel there by Thomas. Whitecaps starting to move the ball around quite nicely. Fortunate ricochet comes back there to Samori, who's sent crashing to the ground from the challenge there. That's going to bring up a dangerous opportunity. Hauk Tippy with a big challenge, bringing up the free kick for the Whitecaps, about 23 yards from goal. And we know that Angela Zoo's got a good strike on him from these set pieces, and wonder if it might be the 18-year-old midfielder that will take this one. He's one of the 2 players standing over this one alongside Matteo Samori. In fact, 3 players now standing over this for the Whitecaps. Mineta backing off though, and it looks like it is going to be Zoo or Samori to take this one. 5-man wall for Marshall Herald, who's given up a lot of space to his left, but Zhu saw that, maybe tried to go for that space, but just did not have the direction he wanted on it, and it's high and over the altitude bar. And altitude will once again bring this one out from the back. Tippy looking for some movement, long ball forward. I think he was looking to try and play in Sakera there, but Clark Tozak gets his foot on that, puts it in for a throw-in for altitude, and that's maybe the best he could have hoped for from that ball. Altitude forced back here as well, neither team giving an inch up. We've had a few breaks from both teams, either from a little bit of good play to get themselves free or a slip or a misplay. You do think it might be a mistake by one of these sides that leads to the opening goal. Just now though, it's Tinmouth that's on the ball. It's a good delivery into the box, onto the head of Bushman Dormand. He can't direct that on target though. Good stuff there though from altitude, as Bushman Dormand gets his head on that cross, and it's just going to be wide and bring up another goal kick here for the Whitecaps. 7 minutes and stoppage time remaining in the first half. Still scoreless here at Thunderbird Stadium. This was never going to be a 12-goal affair like the meeting between the two women's teams. These two teams as well will battle it out once again on Wednesday evening at Kinsman Field. 6:30 kickoff for the men in that one. The women go at 4 o'clock. No stream for that game, so if you want to take in the action, the only way you can do so live is to head along to Kinsman Field on the North Shore on Wednesday evening. Altitude put on a very good game day experience. Mentioned during the women's game, if you've never taken in a game at Kinsman Field, highly recommend you do. My favourite venue in League 1BC, and a very interesting pitch. It's on a slope, it's a grass pitch, it can be a bit of a leveller for sides, and these two teams will battle it out again in just 3 days' time on the North Shore. And you feel for both of these sides in terms of playoff positioning, these are two massive matches that are going to get played out in the space of 4 days. As referee Ramich not happy with Gassemi there, just giving him a talking to. Don't really know why that had to go on as long as it did. Wasn't too much in that from Gassemi. And that's a ball forward. I thought Sakera was going to get onto that, but it's well read by Williams instead. Now the Whitecaps will get a chance to bring it out. De Silva plays this forward to Thomas. Nice cut inside from Amoni Thomas. He's got Zhu making the run, but Thomas keeping hold of it, and then brought down the tackle by Herbert. And I've got to say, that was a good tackle in the end from Herbert. Yes, it brings up a free kick, but Thomas was just working his way through and past the altitude players there. So that was a good foul to take from an altitude point of view. Even better from Herbert, because it didn't bring up a yellow card from the referee. But it does bring up a very good set piece opportunity, 25 yards out. We saw Zhu take one a little bit closer in just a few moments ago that went high, so maybe this will be a bit more suited for him. It's only a couple of yards further back. Once again, Samori and Zhu standing over this one for the Whitecaps. 4-man wall for Marshall Herald, who again has given up a lot of space to his left. Zhu goes for the same spot, and it's almost an identical free kick, high and wide to the right there from Angelo Zhu. The idea is right. He's clearly going for the postage stamp corner. He's just not been able to get the right direction on it. And Altitude live to fight another day and bring the ball forward. Intriguing game this so far. Very delicately poised. You'd be a brave person to put your money on which one of these teams is going to get the breakthrough. Does have the makings of a 0-0 at the moment, but we'll see how the second half plays out when we have some key players subbed in. Altitude edged the early going. Whitecaps have probably edged more of the last 10-15 minutes. But Tippy storming forward now and wins himself a free kick out of the challenge there from Gassemi. That's good play from the veteran. Just 25, but in League One terms, he is a veteran, one of the older players on this Altitude side. He knew the ball was getting away from him there and just did enough to let Gassemi barge into him to bring him down and bring up the free kick. Once again, it's Bushman, Dormand and Herbert standing over this one. They'll send this high into the back of the Caps box. Bushman, Dormand sends that in. It's a good one, but it's right on to the keeper, Ben Alexander, who is bowled over by Hauk Tippy, and he earns himself a yellow card for his efforts. The German just bulldozed his way through Alexander there, who did well to hold on to the ball. Of course, back in the day, in the 1970s, when I first started watching football, those challenges got a little bit more allowed on the goalkeepers. I wouldn't mind seeing that reintroduced as well. Make some games more interesting, make goalkeepers think a little bit. Sure, any goalkeepers watching this are feeling very opposed to that possibility. But it does bring up a free kick for the Whitecaps as we are in the last 90 seconds of regulation. We'll keep an eye on the fourth official to see how much time is going to get added on. Tippy is going to have to watch though. He has got a big bulldozing style that could pick up another yellow as Disakera plays that up the wing to Tinmouth, who is brought down. It's going to bring another yellow card out here, this time to Nikos Clark-Tozak, and that certainly a deserved one as well, as Tinmouth was away, and no malice in the challenge there from Clark-Tozak. He got there, I'm sure, as early as he could, but brought down the midfielder from Comox to bring up another free kick here for Altitude. And once again, Herbert and Bushman Dormand standing over this one. Can we get the breakthrough for one of these teams before the interval? It'll certainly make an interesting change to maybe some half-time team talks or tactics if either side can get ahead or goes in behind here. Be interesting to watch Tippy here after what happened the last time round, but Bushman Dormand this time sends a low one in. It's flicked up by Alexander on to the head there of Azar Manu, and he puts his head in his hands as he knew that was a great opportunity there. But Alexander holds on to the ball. It was a nice little flick from Nathan Walters to set that chance up. Now the Whitecaps breaking quickly up the other end. Samori sends it into the box looking for Rukavina. It's cleared. Not too far though. Whitecaps keep the danger alive, and that's going to bring up another free kick opportunity as Zoo sent tumbling to the deck there. And this one is going to be a bit further back for him. They're going to be about the 30-31 yards out from goal. Is it going to maybe be third time lucky for Zoo? In fact, it's placed a little bit further back even than that. It's more heading towards the 34 yards out. Zoo's first two attempts high and wide to the right. This time Cristiano da Silva is also standing over this one, and it's da Silva that takes the chips it into the back of the box, and an acrobatic effort there from Amoni Thomas, and that would have been a spectacular goal if he had fully connected with it. Unfortunately for Thomas, he didn't, and the ball just runs behind. It's going to bring up an Altitude goal kick as we move into first half stoppage time. I haven't seen the indication from the fourth official, but we'll listen out for the announcement as well. Can't imagine there'd be more than about 2-3 minutes at the most to get added on in this half. Caps bring it back, played forward to Rukavina. He knocks it ahead. He's in a foot race now with Walters, but that which should centre back does well. Gets a little foul in the back. Whitecaps looking for a corner there. Felt that the ball last came off Walters. Gotta say, I maybe agree with that. I think that should have been a corner coming up for the Caps. Instead, it is going to be a goal kick here for Altitude. And in fact, that is the last action of the game. We're not even going to get the goal kick. Just a minute of time added on by referee Amar Rumic. We are scoreless here at Thunderbird Stadium. It's Whitecaps 0, Altitude 0. Stick the kettle on, grab your biscuit of choice, and join us in 15 minutes for the second half of this one. It's League 1 BC action, and it's going to be a cracking second half.
Thanks for the latest on League 1 BC, match updates, scores, stats, standings, and more. You can download the League 1 Live app for free from the Apple or Android stores. Available right now for free on your phone, the League 1 BC app. Also stay connected to League 1 BC. You can follow League 1 BC on Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. Subscribe to League 1 BC TV on YouTube as well. You can view full matches, highlights, and feature stories throughout this 2024 season. Also a reminder that the next Whitecaps FC MLS Academy home match is Saturday, July the 6th, here at Thunderbird Stadium against Harborside FC. Note the start time is 3:30 p.m. That is Saturday, July the 6th, Whitecaps MLS Academy against Harborside FC. L1BC play resumes in 3 minutes. Now back on the pitch, L1BC, and your VWFC.
Welcome back to Thunderbird Stadium this sunny Sunday, and it's a beautiful day for the beautiful game. Goalless at half-time in League 1 BC men's division action as Vancouver Whitecaps are hosting Altitude from North Vancouver. It's a battle between second place Whitecaps and third placed Altitude. As things currently stand, it's very, very interesting at the top of the League 1 BC standings. Altitude 2-0 up when I last checked in their home game against Harbourside to move on to 11 points. A point for both of these teams this afternoon takes them to 11 points. So 4 teams alongside TSS Rovers could be sitting on 11 points by the end of this one. And it's Altitude that's going to get the second half underway. Shooting from right to left in the all black jerseys and black shorts with white numbers, and they are underway. Nathan Walters with the long ball forward. I'll have a quick look around the pitch. Doesn't look to be any substitutes from an Altitude point of view. There is from a Whitecaps point of view with number 89 Elijah Bean coming on. You can see his long dreadlocked hair, which makes it easy for a commentator to realise that there has been a substitution. St Ricketts' brother Elijah Bean as well. Also coming on is Whitecaps' leading scorer, number 98, David Ajagbe. I think 95, Marcus Rukavina has made way, and potentially 79, Matteo Samori as well. But we will wait for confirmation of those changes. This game delicately poised as things stand right now, and interestingly the League One Canada app available from Google and Android and Apple stores if you want to keep track with everything. Showing a yellow card issued to Whitecaps assistant coach Robert Rositoyu at half time. Whitecaps bench did seem a little bit unhappy that the referee blew up when he did. Just adding 1 minute of time on in the game. Thomas out on the right wing. I expect to see him almost glued to that right wing in the second half. He's been so effective for the Whitecaps. Maybe one of the unsung heroes, I think, for this Whitecaps side through their first 5 games. Really liked what I've seen from Amoni Thomas.
3 substitutions for Vancouver at halftime. First substitution for Whitecaps FC. Out of the match, number 87, Sahai Williams. And into the match, number 73, Ben Lee. Second substitution for Vancouver. Also leaving the game.
There's also another substitution for the Whitecaps at halftime. Benjamin Lee, number 73, coming on for 87, Sahai Williams.
For Vancouver. Out of the match, number 95, Marcus Rukavina. And in the match, number 98.
And it is confirmed that Rukavina and Samori, the 2 players making way, as I mentioned there, for Elijah Bean and David Ajagbe, as Giordano Pinto gets a little bit of attention down on the pitch just now. I'm your match commentator, Michael McCall. Thank you for spending this Sunday afternoon with us, whether you've been with us from the start or just joined us along the way, or even if you're watching on demand. Thank you for watching and supporting League 1BC. As someone who enjoys a little bit of chaos, a draw here and a Unity win would be quite fun to see 4 teams at the top of the men's division, all on 11 points. And I'm sure TSS Rovers watching on from the luxury of their week off will relish having 1 to 2 games in hand on those other teams around them. You have to take advantage though of those games in hand, and it's always better to have points on the board than games in hand, is how I've always looked at things, and I've learned to my peril with teams that I follow over the years that it is definitely better to get the points on the board early. Here comes Altitude, Disakera. Forced back, doesn't have a lot of options. Plays it out to his left though now to Shavula. Shavula and Thomas is a very good battle. Here is Bean. He gets that nicked off his foot there by Pinto. And the Caps will get a throw in just inside their own half, about 10 yards inside their own half. Thomas gets on with it, and Herbert quickly closing down there. And I think Herbert had every right to go for that ball. Did certainly catch De Silva a little bit as that one was played through. Now Zoo gets the ball on the other side, and the Whitecaps moving the ball around quite nicely just now. Ajagbe looks to play that into the middle to Zoo that had made the run. Ajagbe picks up the loose ball. Gets into the box, little touch outside. And it's going to come back to Ajagbe. He's going to be in an offside position. No, the flag doesn't go up there, and Altitude are, now the flag does go up as the Altitude players are yelling at the referee that it was clearly offside. I immediately looked over at the linesman and was like, why is that flag not gone up? But they are of course told not to put their flags up, which is another annoyance of the modern game. Marshall bundle over there, but fairly by Bean, and Altitude will bring this one out from the back as Walters plays it to Tippy. Long ball upfield, chested down by Bushman Dorman. Pinto will switch this out to Shavula. We've got another Shavula Thomas battle here. Shavula cuts inside, plays it back to Pinto. He's going to loft this one into the box. Goes low in the end and comes off Clark Tozak. Whitecaps now get a chance to bring it out. But good break-up play there from Marshall, and it knocks the ball off Lefevre on the way, and off De Silva on the way. Herald way out of his goal. He hasn't had a lot to do, maybe just getting a little bit bored and trying to play as a sweeper keeper in this half for Altitude. This is crossfield ball looking to try and get to Marshall. Herald now having to backpedal as Bean brings this forward. He went to the outside. I think he probably should have played that inside way earlier to Samori, who I've noticed is still on the pitch. And it's Amir Gassemi is the man that made way and not Matteo Samori. The Whitecaps get a corner. Angela Zhu over to deliver this one. He's been good with his set-piece deliveries so far this season. Crowding in the 6-yard box, and referee Ramic not happy with what he saw there before the kick was taken. The Whitecaps will get a second attempt to send this in. A lot of traffic in front of Herald as Zhu sends this one into the back post. Bit of pushing and shoving goes the way of the visitors, and that's going to bring up a free kick to Altitude. It takes the pressure off their back line. A lot of the first half played at a little bit of a pedestrian pace, and as I mentioned, it is very hot down there. Like even up in the booth where we've been getting blown about a bit with the wind, as soon as the wind drops, you start to notice the heat has picked up a little bit. Beachman Dorman can't bring that down, and Zhu nips in to intercept that and plays that one back to Alexander, and the Caps will build out again from the back line. Both teams showing a lot of patience, not trying to force anything, not giving up any space at the back either for their opponents to exploit. Marshall, good head forward to Pinto, who also flicks it forward. De Sequeira tried to give something to Herbert to run onto, but it was read by the Whitecaps defence, who get a chance to clear it. Bean battling away in the middle with Azar Manu, and the Whitecaps just can't get their foot on it. They do now though, as a Jagby plays that one inside to De Silva. He is bundled over by Azar Manu, and that's going to bring out the yellow card for persistent fouling, I would think, on Azar Manu there. Has been a couple of challenges from the Iranian in the first 55 minutes of the game. The Whitecaps will get a chance now to maybe launch this forward, but probably continues to build it out from just inside the Altitude half. Chipped forward by Lee. Jagby couldn't bring that down now. Altitude get a chance to bring it out, but as Altitude were breaking there, a decision for the challenge on Lefevre.
Number 4, Ali Azarminu.
But it's De Silva that is down in a bit of pain on the ground just now. Don't think the free kick's been given. I think it's going to be a drop ball for the referee. Just stopped play there as De Silva went down with a yell, erring on the side of caution, but Altitude were on a breakaway there, so referee has to obviously consider player safety, but I'm not sure that was a situation that was needed to be stopped there by referee Amir Ramic. Now the chance goes to nothing for Altitude. Score update from the other men's match getting played this afternoon. In the 43rd minute, out at Cloverdale and Unity with a 3-0 lead. A pair of goals for Joel Badger and one for Patrick Is it. Really liked Joel Badger's play this year. Got on the score sheet in the game against TSS last weekend, opening the scoring as Unity went into a 2-0 lead before being pegged back by the league leaders. But as I mentioned at the start of this half, as things currently stand, we're going to have a 4-way tie on 11 points at the top of League 1BC, with playoff positioning and a place in the Canadian Championship up for grabs by whoever tops the pile come the 20th of July. 21st of July, I think, is actually the last game as Harbourside host Unity in that. And that could have big points on the line in that game. Harbourside hosting TSS this Saturday, the day before as well. So Harbourside could play a big role into determining playoff positions and Canadian Championship berths. So that long ball is just going to run through into the arms of Ben Alexander. That's a long ball for Jagby to chase down. Jagby does chase it down. He's got Bean in the middle. He sends it to Bean, who pokes out a leg, but can't direct it on target. Under the pressure there from the Altitude defender, and that pressure I think was enough really from Marshall to put off Elijah Bean. But it's a quick break there from the Caps, and nice long ball forward. Jagby did so well to get on the end of it, make room. And Marshall just did enough to put off Elijah Bean there. That looked like that was going to be the opening goal for the Whitecaps. But we're still scoreless here at Thunderbird Stadium. Bean looking for his first goal in League One. The Edmontonian played his youth soccer out in Alberta with Sherwood Park Phoenix and also the Edmonton West Warriors. Spent some time into St Ricketts Academy as well, which you would imagine the nephew of the St Ricketts would be keen to do. Haven't had a chance to speak to Tosh yet as to what he's made of his nephew's play in League One. Hope to do that at some point soon. As Shavula clears that one up the pitch to Disakeri, tries to play in Bushman Dorman, but the Whitecaps break it up and now they'll get a chance to bring this one forward. Lee now, he's got some room ahead of him, plays it out to Thomas. Fancy footwork from Amoni Thomas, but an important boot in there from Azar Manu, and he had to time that right, being on a yellow card as well. As Shavula and Thomas clash on the sideline. Decision goes the way of Altitude, and they're going to get a throw-in and break up that little spell of pressure there from the Caps as we move past the hour mark here at Thunderbird. Do either of these sides have it in them to break the deadlock? For me, Altitude shaded the first half. They certainly came out stronger. Whitecaps came into it, but I think overall just edged by Altitude in the first 45 minutes. I have to say, it feels like it's been pretty much all Whitecaps to start the second half here. Possibly some tired legs out in the heat for Altitude, and you'd imagine that Falibas will be going at his bench sooner rather than later to shake things up. And a loose one there from Tinmouth allows the Whitecaps to intercept. Jagby gets it now, out to Zoo. Nice touch inside to Samori, tries to turn away from Azar Manu, but He is on him like a dog on a bone. And Altitude will bring this one out. Herbert out to Tinmouth. Can he keep this one in? He's battling away. Shakes off his marker as well, but closed down so quickly there by Angelo Zhu. He's having a good game. That's a through ball there for Disakera to try and chase down, but that's going to be dealt with by Benjamin Lee. A crossfield ball now from Zhu to Bean. He tried to first time that through to Thomas that was making the run. Rebound falls favourably to Bean. Is he going to get another bite at it here? No. Shavula is over to knock this one back. And it does look like Altitude are going to make their first substitution of the game. And it is Hauk Tippy that is making way. Interesting change at the back for Altitude. Tippy, of course, is on a yellow card from a booking in the first half. And Samori on. Plays that outside to Bean. And a little confused as to who has come on for Altitude here. Oh, ignore that. I'm looking at the wrong game. There we go. If I get the right lineup here. And it is Marcus Puhalj, the number 12, who I hadn't seen listed on the subs lineup because I was still looking at the Unity Harbourside match. But Marcus Puhalj playing on his home pitch. He is a UBC Thunderbird during the college season.
And into the match, number 12, Marcus Puhalj.
And the Whitecaps have found the breakthrough, and it's their leading scorer, David Ajagbe, that does it. 64th minute here at Thunderbird Stadium, and the Whitecaps finally break the deadlock. They have been more dominant in this half. Altitude, a loose ball, lovely through ball there, and a touch falls favourably to Ajagbe, and he makes no mistake from a few yards out to put that away past Marshall Herald. And a fourth of the year now for the big striker. Born in Ontario, made the move out west to Surrey. Got one goal for the Whitecaps in his 9 games in 2023, and he is leading the way for the Caps this year with his 4th goal of the season. And that should open this game up a little bit now. It's been a little bit lacklustre from Altitude to start the second half, but they're going to get themselves a free kick now in a very dangerous position just at the side of the box here. Bushman Dormand and Herbert once again standing over this one. Let's see what they can draw up. I feel Bushman Dormand's going to go for the curler right on top of Alexander here, and that's exactly what he tried to do, but in the end it just bounces in the 6-yard box and away.
The assist to number 79, Matteo Samori, in the 64th minute. Ajagbe from Samori in the 64th minute.
Matteo Samori getting the credit for the assist there. Need to watch that back to see if it is indeed going to go down as an assist in my stats, or if it kind of bobbled off the Altitude player on the way through. Either way, the Whitecaps aren't going to care about that. All they care about is they have the 1 goal lead, and right now they are sitting top of the League 1 BC standings. And I think watching it quickly back there, I think Samori does deserve the assist on that goal. And that is Matteo Samori's first assist of the 2024 campaign. Going with his 2 goals that he has for the team so far. So let's see what Altitude have to come back into this one. They haven't offered much at all in this second half, so they really need to start to find their groove a little bit. Got a couple of players on the bench that could do that for them. Yayo Matumbo, former Whitecaps player himself who played in League One last year with the Whitecaps, certainly would feel like the man that they're going to need to bring on to try and freshen things up in the front line for them. As we move past the midway point of the second half, this ball chested down by Ajagbe, can't bring it down to get the shot off. Matthew Marshall has been very solid in that back for Altitude this afternoon. It does look like it might be Matumbo that is about to come on now for Valley Bass's side. We'll see who it is that makes way. It's Altitude try to claw themselves back into this game. Herbert brings that down, turns well, signals where he wants to put it, goes to Shavula. Herbert gets it back. Nice little ball inside to Azar Manu. Thought he was going to go for the first time strike and goal, but plays that out to the wing. Ball comes through to the back here to Shavula. Mishandles it initially, and I think a first time cross there would have been helpful for Altitude, but Whitecaps break it up and bring it out. De Silva. As a way to say, Altitude keeping hold of the ball well, and just as soon as those words were about to come out of my mouth, they turn it over to the Whitecaps. Thomas now bringing it forward. Nice little touch outside here to Ajagbe. He's got Bean in the middle. Ajagbe showing some fancy footwork in the box. Couldn't quite get the shot off though. This has pretty much been all Whitecaps in the second half. Altitude's going to have to find a little bit of magic to get themselves back into this one. As a menu now, can he be the spark? Plays it out to Tinmouth, sends one across the goal, just a little bit too high, didn't really have the direction on it either, and that is going to run behind, and it is going to give the chance now. Atos Di Sakera making way, and it's actually Stasia Hale, the number 10, that is coming on for Valley Bass's side. Di Sakera had a very quiet second half, hasn't really been able to get into the game at all. Stasia Hale will certainly add a bit of spark to Altitude's attack here.
Substitution for L1BC.
Coming off a very good VMSL season, Stasia Hale with Croatia, where he was the team leader with 5 goals. This is his 3rd year in League 1 BC for the 22-year-old. All 3 with Altitude. Didn't find his way onto the score sheet in 2022, but did get a goal and assist. And Hale looking for a yellow card in his opponent there as he was bundled over. Early impression on the game. Altitude quick to get on with it, as they should be. 1 goal down, less than 20 minutes to go now. Tinmouth battling it out in the far side. Zhu though takes that off his foot. Ball comes forward to De Silva. Samori, he gets bundled over by Nathan Walters, and that's going to bring up a free kick for the Whitecaps. Hope you're enjoying this one wherever you are watching the action. John O'Flynn watching it at home and double dipping between the BC Lions and Toronto Argonauts CFL game. Wants to give a shout out to all the fans of League 1 BC, and we appreciate you all for taking your time supporting the league, coming out to the games, watching these streams. The future of soccer here in BC is in League 1 BC, and you can follow the action all season long on the League 1 Canada app, available in the Google and Android and Apple stores, and also league1bc.ca website. If you want to catch up the first 6 weeks of the League 1 season as well, you can read our roundups on aftn.ca, the men and the women's division. As Ahale tries to poke that forward to Shavula. Altitude battling away now, deep in the Whitecaps third, and winning a throw-in as well. If you want to get in touch with us during the game, you can do so on Twitter at AFTN Canada or aftncanada@hotmail.com if that is not your thing. And we're going to get another substitution coming up here. Double substitution, in fact, for Altitude. In fact, it's not a double substitution, it was just a little hug. I thought there was a second player coming on there. But Giordano Pinto, the number 8, is making way.
Substitution for Altitude FC. Leading the match, number 8, Giordano Pinto. And he's replaced by number 23, Lucas Booth, in the 74th minute.
Lucas Booth, the number 23, on for Altitude for the remainder of this one. Can he bring the spark that will help the North Shore side get back onto level terms here? Booth plays his college football out in Ontario with Queen's Gales, and his second year in League 1 BC, played 2023 with Altitude in 7 of the matches, making a welcome return to the North Vancouver side for the 2024 season. And they could do with some spark from the midfielder. It's just been lacking for Altitude in this second half, as Ajagbe again does well to turn away from his marker, Puhalish. He's been a handful since he's come on this second half. Nice little cut back there as well. It was very well read though by Booth. He plays this forward to Herbert. It's a good chance here for Altitude. It's a nice through ball here for Bushman Dormand. He's in on goal and he tucks it away past Alexander. He brings the Altitude fans to their feet. And from nowhere, Altitude have tied things up in the 75th minute here. And that was all from the break-up play by the sub that had just come on, Lucas Booth. Powered forward, took that one off, and a nice little step away from Oliver Herbert to send that through to Bushman Dormand. And Altitude's leading scorer made no mistake, drilled that one past Alexander for his 4th of the season, and we're all tied up here at Thunderbird. It's Vancouver Whitecaps 1, Altitude 1, 15 minutes left to play. And a second assist of this season as well for Oliver Herbert there. Fantastic football played by Altitude in that quick breakaway. They hadn't been in this second half at all, and it just shows you a little bit of deadly play.
The assistant number 17, Oliver Herbert.
And now we are delicately poised once again here, and we are back to a 4-way tie at the top of the League 1 BC men's division standings. Can someone finish this weekend top of the pile? Is the ascendancy now going away off Altitude? Doesn't look like we are on for a water break in this half either. Altitude right now will not want a water break to give the chance for the Whitecaps to kind of regroup. They are pushing. They've got the equaliser. Can they find the go-ahead goal? Azamanu gets the ball, tries to send it into the box. It comes back to Bushman Dorman, but he is in an offside position. I feel there's going to be a lot of football still to get played here over the last 13 minutes and stoppage time. Ajagbe chases it down. Nice ball forward here for Bean to chase down. He's in a foot race. Herald quickly off his line though to snuff out that danger. Booth ends up playing a give and go with opposition player, not what he had in mind, but it works well for Altitude as Bushman Dorman sends that in looking for a Hale, rises to meet that. It's still bouncing about in the box. Booth tries to bring it down, plays it back, and a swipe there from Herbert. Couldn't get that on target, and that just whizzes by the right hand post there, and the Whitecaps will breathe a huge sigh of relief. That goal has brought some new vigour and spark to this Altitude side. And a big contingent of Altitude supporters down to my left, buoyed by that as well, cheering their team on. Can they come away with a famous victory here? Certainly Altitude that's making all the running. The substitution of Booth has certainly added the spark I was hoping that it might bring for Altitude. 21-year-old midfielder from North Vancouver. As the Whitecaps now get set to make a substitution of their own here to see what they can maybe add to their team in the closing moments here. Aidan Fong looks to be the man that is coming on. I think it's Mateus Amori that has gone off.
For substitution for Vancouver in the 79th minute, leaving the match, number 79, Mateus Amori.
He has been now for the Whitecaps. Thomas. He's been a bit quiet in this second half after a very good first half. Been again, just running through this Altitude team. Hits the byline, runs out of some space in the end, and the ball just got away from him. He had to really stretch to keep that in, and that took any momentum away from the Whitecaps winger there. But Ajagbe and Bean certainly changed the dynamic for the Whitecaps after coming on at half-time, and Ajagbe plays it into the middle there. It's poked back, it comes back to Ajagbe. He's trying to get it out of the ground, and a good tackle there by Nathan Walters. He had to time that right to not give away a penalty, and he had to make sure he got the ball because Ajagbe was poised to fire home there from about 4 yards out. So good defensive play there from Walters for Altitude, but the Whitecaps keeping it alive. It's chipped in on to Ajagbe, who gets his head to it. Can't quite get the power on it, and that will run through into the arms of Marshall Herald. Been a very entertaining matchup between these two sides. Nothing to choose between them. Does one of them have what it takes though to find the breakthrough as we move into the last 10 minutes here? Ahale holds it up well. Nice little touch back inside to Tinmouth. He's got Bushman Dormand in the centre. Just slightly over hits it behind the big striker. Kept alive though as Booth battling away on the edge of the box. Still Booth going. Comes outside now to Bushman Dormand. He can't find room to get a shot off either. Closed down by all the players, and Booth goes down in the box, appeals for a penalty. There was nothing in that from me there. That was just looking for something there from Altitude. But another great spell of pressure there as Altitude gets set to make another substitution here. And Ambrose Tinmouth is going to make way, the number 19. It looks like that is Yayo Matumbo, the number 36, coming on now for Altitude. He'll know a lot of the players on this Whitecaps side very well from his time in the Whitecaps Academy.
Substitution for Altitude FC. Out of the match, number 19.
And here go the Whitecaps now at the other end.
Number 36,
Very important tackle again there from Nathan Walters to knock that one away from Aidan Fong, who was streaking clear there. He's going to bring up a corner for the Whitecaps. They're sending some bodies up the pitch. Good delivery into the box, headed clear by Walters. Altitude though can't fully clear it now. They might get a chance to Bushman Dorman. Tried to poke that forward. It was well cut out though by De Silva. Zoo gets sent crashing to the deck by Booth. But Altitude come away with it. Aheo now. He's got Bushman Dorman up ahead of him. Sends it up the wing for the big striker to keep that in. He's going to send us into the box. Onto the head of Matumbo, who just can't fully connect with that. And Alexander out to deal with the danger. Matumbo battling away, trying to get something going up the right hand side. Matumbo looks to have moved out into a winger's role with Aheo now playing through the middle for this Altitude side. As I mentioned, Aheo in a rich vein of form in the Vancouver Metro Soccer League, leading the scoring for Croatia with 5 goals over the course of the winter season. Can he bring that goal scoring form into League One with Altitude? It's looked lively since he's come on, and full credit to both managers, Valley Bass and Ewan Fisher. The substitutes they have made have definitely brought spark and renewed vigour to their team. And that is what you're looking to do when you make these substitutions. Puhalj over for the throw-in. Gets the return ball back from Azamanu. Azamanu now picks it up once again. Threads that through. It comes through to Bushman Dorman. He makes room for the shot. Gets the shot off and does not miss by much. Looking for his second of the afternoon. Carson Bushman Dorman has been excellent for Altitude this afternoon. Talked about the experience he brings to this Altitude side. He's played in Estonia. He's played in Switzerland. He's had trials over in Germany. He's got a very good football IQ, and like quite a few players that we've seen on the men's side in League One this year, he's come back to try and find his next pro deal as that decision goes against Altitude, and it's a red card out for Nathan Walters there. Walters can't believe it, neither can the Altitude fans. Have to see this one back. He did go in a little bit, but not sure it was red card worthy. But watch it back on the stream here. Ball is headed clear. He does go in with his studs up, and I think it is just because his studs were a little bit off the ground that referee Ramic pulled out the red card there. Walters feels it's a little bit harsh, and he's just handing over the captain's armband as well to Wishavula, and you can see Walters is devastated as he makes his way off there, because he knows what a huge match this is for both of these sides. Jagby getting helped up there. Doesn't seem too much worse for wear. Nate Walters cutting a desolate figure as he walks off. Altitude down to 10 men for the last 4 minutes in stoppage time here at Thunderbird Stadium. Can the Whitecaps make their man advantage pay? Zhu standing over this as he did with 3 free kicks in the first half. He took 2 of them himself and flashed them wide. Takes this one again, but this time it doesn't go for goal. Send it to the back of the box. It's flicked on, but the offside flag is up as the header comes in. It was tipped away anyway by Herald over the bar. You wonder now, will Altitude try and just shut up shop, be happy to take this point, get the Whitecaps back on home grass on Wednesday when they face off at 6:30 at Kinsman Field, or will they still try to push and go for the winner here? Aheo taking this forward. He's got Bushman Dorman in front of him, sends that through to Bushman Dorman. He maybe is going to have to do a lot of the work himself here and sends it into the danger area, but there was no Altitude players around there, and Alexander deals with that one. Whitecaps will feel that they can find the winner in the closing moments here now with this man advantage. Either side can find the go-ahead goal. They will finish this weekend in first place in League 1 BC. Thomas, long ball forward for Jagby to try and chase down. Fong battling away with it there. Puhalj under pressure there from Jagby, but Matombo comes away with it. Aheo tries the little spin flick, doesn't quite come off for the Altitude attacker. You feel the Whitecaps might just lay siege to the Altitude box in the closing minutes here, but Altitude will be happy to hear the referee's whistle there for the challenge on Azar Manu, who's got a little bit of cramp as he goes down under that one. And Altitude will just be happy to run as much time off the clock as possible here. We've got 30 seconds of regulation to go. Curious to see how much time gets added on by the fourth official. I'm thinking we could see 5 or 6 here, which is not the figure that Altitude's going to want to see.
Into the bench, number 55, Isaac Charbonneau, in the 90th minute.
So final sub coming up, 88, Angelo Zhu making way for the Whitecaps, and coming on, number 55, Isaac Charbonneau, 18-year-old from Cornwall, Ontario. He had 3 goals for the Whitecaps in the Fraser Valley season. And it's 4 minutes of, minimum of 4 minutes of time to get added on here. We're 11v11. I'm sure both teams would have fancied that. I'm sure Altitude were hoping it was going to be a little bit less. But as things stand, they are the team with the ball here in stoppage time, as Puhalj is going to send this free kick deep into the box. Altitude not fully committing numbers forward, understandably being a man down, as Declan Freeman has also come on for Altitude, the number 15. Ball breaks the booth. Out to Shavula. Nice little flick outside to Aheo. Put the shoulder down. Cuts inside. Aheo has a good block though by De Silva. The loose ball comes to Fremont. He'll play this one out to Matumbo. Matumbo judged to have fouled there. If anything, I thought it was Matumbo that was a little bit blocked, but the decision goes the way of the Whitecaps. Send the ball high into the altitude half. Ajagbe battling away with it. Bean picks up the loose ball. Now comes out to Thomas. He's got space to deliver a good cross here. It's a little bit too much towards goal, and in the end it nearly dipped in over Herald, but not what he meant when it left his foot, I'm sure, but did, I'm sure, give a little bit of palpitations there to Marshall Herald in the altitude goal. Call from the Whitecaps bench to the ref that altitude wasting time, as you would imagine they would do, a man down deep into stoppage time here. But it's them that's on the attack now, the North Shore side. A Hale gets that one taken off his foot, and altitude are exactly where they're going to want to be right now. They are in the Whitecaps half, controlling the ball, running time off the clock, and if they can sneak the winner, I think we're going to see joyous scenes down to my left from the band of travelling altitude fans. Hale comes away with the ball there with the flag up for offside by the far side assistant referee. And that long ball from the Whitecaps, wasted opportunity there to try and get something going. They'll be very disappointed with that one. It's just going to allow Herald to run some more time off the clock here. Both teams will feel that they could have taken maybe more than a point from this, but they will also be happy not to walk away from this one with a defeat if it stays tied at 1 apiece. Shavilla knocks it forward now. Bushman Dorman gives a return pass, looking for Shavilla. It's taken up here by a Hale. He's got a couple of options, tries to play that inside to Shavilla. I think the ball outside back to Bushman Dorman was the way to go there. Whitecaps now get a chance to bring this one forward. Little miscontrol from Fong. The Whitecaps pick up the loose ball. Carry it out though, and that decision's going to go the way of altitude. And we're deep in stoppage time now. Final seconds of the 4 minutes that had been allocated by the referee is the time for a dramatic winner for either of these sides. And we're going to get another card out here as an altitude player falls to the deck. Aheo goes down. The yellow card goes to both players, Aheo and to the Whitecap on the far side. I didn't quite see who it was that had done that one. In the 5th minute now of time added on here, there can't be too much more that's going to get added on by the referee. Jagbe plays this out. Can it get kept in by Thomas? He does keep it in. This could be the last chance of the game to grab a dramatic late winner. Thomas cuts into the box. A great challenge there by Booth to knock it away though. Thomas wins it back. Booth wins it back off him now. Bushman Dormand sends that to Aheo. He looks offside and the flag does come up on the far side. Good to see the 10 men of altitude though going for it late on here. Referee still continuing to play here. The Whitecaps might get one last gasp chance here. And the final whistle goes. Referee Amiramic blows the final whistle and it finishes. Vancouver Whitecaps 1, Altitude 1. David Ajagbe opening the scoring in the 64th minute for the Whitecaps, assisted by Matteo Samori. 75th minute, Carson Bushman Dormand, his 4th of the season, like Ajagbe, tied things up. A fantastic game, a bit of a chess match at times and a bit of a slower pace at times, but I think a draw is a fair result. And what that does to the League 1BC standings is it sets up a 4-way tie at the top. 4 teams now on 11 points at the top of the table, all to play for as we move into the second half of the League 1 BC season. I've been Michael McCall. Thank you for spending your Sunday with us. If you've watched us live, thank you for supporting League 1 BC if you're watching this on demand. We'll be back with the next game of the week next Sunday from Kamloops. I'm travelling through to bring you Rivers against Burnaby. If you're free on Wednesday night though, head out to North Vancouver to the North Shore as the Whitecaps and Altitude do it all over again. Women kick off at 4, the men at 6:30. Have a good remainder of your weekend and we'll catch you at the pitch soon. Bye everybody.